Music. We play it. If you like rock and roll. We play it because no one does fusion music like we do. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
Programs presented are submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM, The Boss, and affiliates.
Thank God it's...
Welcome to Today with Cachet. It's Friday, the day we discuss social and business transformation in this digital age. Get ready, folks, for a loose, fun, and hopefully inspiring dialogue. I'm Jesus, your guest co-host. To my right, the lady of the hour, namesake of the show, also known as Miss All That.
Woo!
Take it away, Cachet.
Yay! Yay! That was I love that.
I had to throw that in.
Okay, can we add that as a normal now? Like,
You are Miss All That.
I love that. Well, thank you. And you know you are too. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, both of us.
That's right.
Well, hello.
Hello.
I'm happy.
It's Friday.
It's Friday. I've got all
That's
this.
right.
I have all this energy today. Like I don't know why after our workout this morning why I still have all this energy.
You were energized before we even got to the gym this morning.
Okay.
Like
well,
big time.
Okay. Well.
Now, I got to call this out because she got called out by our
boss
trainer,
man.
the co-owner of Baby Bull, called you out. What happened?
Okay.
Because I was doing my thing, trying to survive in the heat in that gym, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's calling you out on something. What happened?
Sorry, boss man, okay? And the good part is I'm getting it out. He even said he would come on the show and tell on me.
That's right.
So I'm going to tell on myself, and I thank you for bringing it to light. So this morning, we were getting through that grueling workout like we always do. Thank you, boss man. And, you know, sometimes you just zone out because you would agree, right?
Yeah.
Eventually it goes from the physical to the mental survival.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get through it. So I was in a mental...
Mind over matter.
Mind over matter. So I was in a mental zone, and I was doing the push-ups where you're...
They're called diamond push-ups,
There
babe.
we go, the diamond push-ups. And those were a little bit more difficult.
Yes.
And so when I was doing them, I kind of moved to my knees a little bit because I was just trying to get through.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I look up and there's boss man going with his hands on the hip going, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I am so sorry. I
You're not resting, are
I
you?"
said, "I apologize." He says, "Do I need to come on the show and let everybody know that you're not going to do it the right way?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, sure, come on." But here I am.
That's right.
So that's what happened.
That's right. That's
but
right.
then I got through it.
So we do,
Yeah.
for those folks that don't know, we do boxing twice a week,
Yep.
and we do workouts with weights 3 times a week. And something that you and I were talking about this morning that is so important is sticking to a routine,
Yes.
even if you don't feel like it.
Yes.
I had a kind of a slow day on Monday. Yours was your slow day, if you will, was yesterday, Thursday during boxing.
Thank you for getting me through it.
Yeah, well, we have 6 rounds, I think it was, with in the group setting. We do a group training with an L, right? I
Right.
call it annihilation. Cash finally dancing because they have rap music, they have great music. When you're finally
Okay.
dancing,
Okay,
that's I say,
wait.
okay, she's awake.
Okay,
she's
but
finally
not guys, really, not like full throttle dancing. Like the music's going, so they play all kind of music to pump us up.
Yeah.
So then I start kind of like getting into it to get myself pumped up, and yeah, that kind of dancing. That's great.
I just watching out of the corner of my eye.
He
out
does.
of the
He
corner
does.
of
He
my eye.
looks and he sees me and he smiles because I start doing my little like, yeah, I'm into this. I'm ready.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so yeah, there we are.
So the results are in, babe.
The results are in.
The results are in.
Okay.
I'm the best thing that ever happened to you.
What? Okay. So when was this taken? I agree that you are an amazing thing that has happened to me. I know not thing, but person. But
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
So I want to know where this tallied up. Where did this come from?
In my mind. In my mind this morning.
I wasn't a part of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, the results are in because something
okay.
that you and I have been following for the last couple of months is we follow e-commerce, we follow
Sure.
digital. You know, one of the the attributes, or the attributes of the show is what's happening in the commercial world in terms of digital transformation.
Sure.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak for the first segment. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the largest e-commerce players. We're going to talk about Etsy, Amazon, Walmart, eBay. We're going to talk about Facebook and Shopify, as well as Target Plus, Google Shopping, and Wish. Have you ever been on the Wish website?
What is Wish?
Okay, I'll get to that in a second because it's interesting.
Good.
In general, this is what the analysts have said. I've been looking at this for about a month or so. And they have declared that Etsy, Amazon, especially Etsy from a stock price standpoint, Etsy, Amazon, Walmart, and eBay have turned out to be the winners during this COVID quarantine and this time. Facebook and Shopify are showing very much promise, especially Shopify as a platform, because it's not really a marketplace. It wants to be. And then you've got Target Plus, Google Shopping, and Wish, which are considered losers in this exercise. But let's go through it. Amazon grew. You see the stock price, it's over $1,000 a share. I mean, you know, it's way up there. eBay also grew, and without expanding its sellers or its product base significantly. eBay is an auction site. They also sell first-run items. They have storefronts. You've had a business on eBay. But it grew because of the Amazon problems with delivery. Do you remember that? Amazon had an issue with supply chain.
Oh, they did. I do remember that.
And it bases a lot of its gross sales on third-party sellers.
Okay.
The people that don't fulfill their own orders and sell on Amazon use the Amazon system called Fulfilled by Amazon, FBA. So at one point, Amazon took the step to scale that back and say, we're only pushing essential items through our system. Who picked up the slack? Apparently, eBay. Walmart, the Walmart marketplace also features, third-party sellers, and then from a percentage standpoint, they actually outperformed eBay and Amazon again from a percentage growth standpoint. The other thing that caught my attention this week, they just announced a subscribe service similar to Prime on Amazon. Walmart did.
Oh, Amazon!
Walmart is moving up in the world and going after the Goliath.
Interesting.
Target Plus is interesting because it's a lesser-known marketplace. We know Target, we know Target.com, etc. My sisters are big fans of Target, especially my sister Tatiana. Shout out to Tat, who's watching us overseas in Panama. Target Plus. They have a small base of sellers, of third-party sellers on the marketplace. And I remember that I have a personal story on this. I have done negotiation training in the past, etc. I had the privilege and blessing of meeting Target folks of the Target Plus team in Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
They admitted, I'm sharing some inside information, that they are going gangbusters on this. The growth is very significant year over year, but they were late to the race. But the Target brand has obviously, helped them through that. The one, and I want to go to this and spend a little time on this, the one that suffered the most is Wish.com. I didn't even know Wish.
Yeah, Wish.
Wait, can you pull it up for a second?
Yeah, Carlos, pull Wish up.
Carlos, let's take a look at that. Wish.com suffered the most because 90% of its sellers sourced directly from China. What happened? Big stop. Okay, big stop. And if you look at it, and you look at the aesthetics, if you look at the format, you look at the style, it's a very Chinese-driven. If you've ever shopped on Alibaba Express or an Alibaba, it's a very, very similar to a very Chinese or China style of a website for consumers, for consumers. Yeah. Now, you've never heard of that?
No, and maybe I've seen it by default and didn't realize it was Wish, but online or something. But no, I've never utilized it or anything. So.
Okay, so you became a fan of Amazon recently,
and that's because of you, the amazing man that you are.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so lucky to know you. I'm so lucky to know you.
You know, my sisters are rolling their eyes right now.
Going,
right?
oh my God! Oh
please,
my God!
Please don't say any more to him.
I tried to stop early. I know. I was like, yes. I know they're watching. So.
But in terms of buying online, babe, Amazon, Walmart, and you're a Target fan. It's you got it near your house. Where would you stop first? Online.
Out of the three you just listed.
Yeah. So Amazon, Walmart, and Target.
Right now, it would be Amazon.
Okay. Why?
Well, one, I'm familiar with them right now.
Okay.
I've been using. It's the recency effect.
Okay.
I'm utilizing them. I haven't had a problem with them. I even can utilize them when I go into Whole Foods.
That's right.
Scan my Prime. Everything's been okay.
Yeah.
So my mind's thinking Amazon right now.
Yeah, yeah. Target, you're in store now. Is that because of the proximity? You've got that Target store near where you live.
Sure. For me, between the Target in-store experience and the Walmart, to me it's kind of a night and day.
Yeah.
My car automatically drives me for some reason my car, when I get in it, it automatically drives me to
Takes
Target.
you to Target
Walmart
Target,
just
yeah.
doesn't come on the plate. It just doesn't.
Yeah. And then the other one that we talked within Walmart. So
Okay.
you wouldn't necessarily go to a Walmart or
No,
Walmart.com.
I have.
Got
I
it.
have. And
Got it.
I would, yes. To answer
Got
your
it.
question, I would, yes.
Got it. Talking about resellers and third-party sellers.
Okay.
And you had your business on eBay.
eBay and a couple other, big sites out there.
Okay, other sites. Google Shopping. Have you ever heard of Google Shopping for the consumers? Google Shopping.
I don't think so.
Trying to become a marketplace.
I don't think so.
Okay, and they had free listings at one time,
Okay.
and they reintroduced that. They've got to compete. What about Facebook? They introduced a concept called shops.
I just don't see myself doing that on Facebook.
Interesting. People are opening businesses, of course, on Facebook. We probably
Yeah.
have folks in the audience that do. But today, if you want to shop as a consumer on Facebook, you click on the site, and the site is taking you to an external website.
Got it.
You have a website, you post it on Facebook in your profile, your storefront. Then when you click on it, it takes you. So what they're trying to
I may
do.
put my business on there, but I probably wouldn't think to go there at first. But anyway.
So Facebook, which owns Instagram, they're trying to cut that down. They want you to remain on the Instagram app
Okay.
or the Facebook app to stay on that site. What do you think they'd want to do that?
Well, because they want to keep some type of control for themselves. If they let that go, then
And
they're going to lose a lot, right?
What do you think they would lose?
Oh, good question. Well, they would lose a lot of what are they, followers or accounts?
Well,
or
think about who you're doing it for. If you're offering shops,
Yeah.
which is the concept from Facebook,
Yeah.
or on Instagram, and they're going somewhere else, what are you losing? Think about the seller.
Oh, you're probably losing
Income.
income.
Yeah,
Not just
income.
income, but you're also presence, income, marketing,
That's right.
visibility,
Yeah.
all of that.
So what I want to do if I'm Facebook and Instagram,
Okay.
I want to go out there and I want to recruit more sellers.
Got it?
Okay, so if I tell them, look, if you're a seller,
Yeah.
we want you to sell directly on the Facebook Shops marketplace.
Okay.
I want you to sell directly on the Instagram marketplace. We're going to keep you there, but this is how we're going to promote you.
Okay.
Okay? So not only is there an income or commission, on doing it on their marketplace, they have to
Okay.
pay for the marketplace,
Okay.
okay? But they're also using that to sell a landing spot
Okay.
for other resellers.
Interesting.
Amazon's big driver, babe, is the fact that so many sellers are on the system, okay?
Got
And
it.
something that happened actually was announced yesterday or earlier this week is that Amazon hid the profile of the third-party sellers. They had limited information. Now you can get complete information.
Wow.
So let's say that you are sensitive about where the product comes from,
Right.
whether it's overseas or whatever, you're actually going to see many more details about that.
Interesting.
I had sold on Amazon before, and so the way that the Amazon system works, if you're a third-party seller on Amazon, is they control the communication.
Okay.
Okay? Why? They want you to come back through the platform. The house wins. We've been talking about it. The house wins.
Sure,
At
sure.
Amazon, it's genius.
Sure.
The house wins. So that's pure capitalism.
Right.
You're going to put the product on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's up to you, Mr. Seller, whether or not your product works. Okay? Now, with Facebook Shop, it's free and simple. On Amazon, you're paying for that.
You do.
You
have to pay
register
your
and you
fees.
pay. You have to
Yeah.
pay the fees,
Okay.
etc. And it can get very expensive to promote,
Okay.
to list, to use their distribution,
Sure.
to use logistics. So you have to be very, very, very careful if the math is adding up right, especially if you're in lower priced items.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So it's something to think about.
it's something to think about because the
Interesting.
people that sell probiotics or vitamins and
Yeah.
they're on the first page of Amazon, they are paying a lot of money to
Okay.
be there. If you're on page 1, why do you think page 1 and page 2 are so critical on
that's-
Amazon?
Because of attention spans. People click the first page, they see it, okay, I'm done. Let's go. I'll order that and everybody goes to the
I'm
first
looking for 3 things. Number 1, are they on page 1?
Yep.
What are the reviews?
Yeah.
Are you 4 or 5 and above? And third, pretty pictures. or videos.
Yeah.
Those are the three things. You got that, you got a winner.
Wow.
You got, in general, I'm
But you pay
being
for
general.
that, is what
But you
you're
pay
saying
for that.
with
But you pay for
Amazon.
that. But you
Versus
pay for
with
that.
Facebook, you're not going to have to worry about it.
At least for the time being.
Interesting.
That's
Well,
for the
they're just
time
using
being.
that probably as a way to draw people, right?
Well, they got billions of people, using, looking at the community that they've built. They're using it every day.
It looks like what they're doing is, if you're trying to start a new business, you look at what the pain points are with the other organization, which Amazon's probably, there's complaints about that.
That's right.
And so they're saying we're going to utilize that to our advantage.
The magic word here is frictionless. How far can you go on creating a frictionless experience?
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
We're going to go back in time in the next segment. I want everybody to listen up because this is really interesting. We're going to talk about a concept that I've been reading about already for a while.
We get to go ahead.
Yeah, there's a book that I've been reading. I've been telling you about.
Uh-huh.
It's about the Industrial Revolution. Okay, we're going to go back in time for a little bit, and you're going to find this fascinating.
Back in time. Where's my time machine? That's very nice.
Got it.
Looking forward to
Okay.
it.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Cupcakes and Bubbles, located at 26400 Kirkendall Road in Tomball, Texas. Cupcakes and Bubbles has the sweetest and most delicious cupcakes for the entire family. From chocolate raspberry, strawberry rhubars, cookies and cream, and the most popular among kids, the s'mores cupcake. Come and enjoy our cupcakes with a glass of your favorite bubbles. Visit www.cupcakesandbubbles.com for the complete list of our delicious cupcakes. Order online through our webpage. DoorDash and Uber Eats is available too. Enjoy life's sweetest moments with Cupcakes and Bubbles.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY.
Turn on your glam
91.1
today.
FM.
The Jenna Klein collection is here. Elaborated with natural products. Give yourself a compliment with our organic lip glosses in more than 15 shades. With the Jenna Klein lip gloss collection, you can hydrate your lips and keep that glamorous look that you need. Turn on your glam. Visit jennaklein.com. And don't forget our skincare collection with natural ingredients that will improve the skin's appearance and prevent visible signs of aging. We have everything you need to achieve smooth and vitalized skin. jennaklein.com. Turn on your glam today.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
Thank God it's...
So are you ready for a history lesson?
I'm ready. I'm in the time machine. Let's do it.
You're going to go up to back in time
Okay,
significantly.
let's-
So back in time. I wanted to bring this into today's show, babe, because there's a question that's been floating around lately that's really making me personally think, and you and I have discussed this a little bit, and why this question is even coming about. And the question lately is, what makes America great, or is America great? Okay, for you and I, this is a commentary show. We have a little bit of entertainment thrown in. The position is, yes, it is. Yes, it is. And what I want to do is I want to take this segment and talk about a concept that we can go back to. That's very American. That confirms this. Okay. One of the greatest economic forces that the modern world has ever known. Listen up, everybody. One of the greatest economic forces that the modern world has ever known is called the American middle class. Everyone, and I've met suppliers, I've met business people, and I've met retailers around the world that either want to emulate or they want to position and place their products inside mass merchandisers like Dollar General that we talk about a lot, and Walmart, because of the sheer size, distribution, and economic impact.
Wow.
The American middle class. One of the reasons the Industrial Revolution pushed the United States of America as a young country past Great Britain as the great economic power back then in the 1800s was the sheer mass and size of the country. We're going to talk a little bit about consumerism, but also how not only were new processes and inventions implemented, but it was implemented on a very mass scale. So the American middle class, babe, is distinctly American, almost from the offset of the American Revolution. So you have to think about that. Let's think about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive in a little bit on what distinguishes it. from other middle classes around the world because ours is so massive and why it's an economic engine. And it's not defined just by the income, it's also defined by the culture. So I'm going to get into a little bit of American culture here. What's distinctive and great, I want to use that word again, is that the middle class in America grew almost in line with the birth of a nation. And you almost don't see that. You really don't see that. If you think about old countries, if you will, the developed, the old world, etc., there's still monarchies around. Okay, they're very hierarchical. They're very referential to monarchies. We still have princesses and princes and queens and all that. So it's a very hierarchical, setup. In the 1700s, before the American Revolution, American society was marked by rank and by deference. That means that if you were born into, we talked about Matilda the other day, we're talking about servitude, you probably stayed there. Yeah. Likely. There are some people that broke through. She was one example, which was the business person we spoke about the last time we were live. Sure. So the middling rank, which is a predecessor to the middle class, the modern middle class, was really included artisans, small proprietors. Yep. You had some professionals and you had some semi-professionals. And they took their place before the American Revolution in a very strictly ordered hierarchy, society hierarchy. The critical point here, the point of change was the American Revolution. Because that was 1775, 1783. The fact that we were breaking away, we had a couple of things in our favor. We had a wide ocean separating us from Great Britain. The fact that we broke away politically prompted the new Americans to challenge the hierarchy in civil and social society. Okay, we're a free country politically. Why can't I be a free entrepreneur? Why can't I come out of servitude? Because even laborers back then were called servants, even back then. So what happened was, all of a sudden, with the independence, with the Industrial Revolution starting to gain speed in the early 1800s and the quickening pace of commerce, all of a sudden you saw farm boys, young men challenging, I don't want to be a farmer for the rest of my life. One example that we talked about a couple of episodes ago was Richard Sears, the founder of Sears. He was a farm boy. He said, well, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. So he he became a telegraph operator, and he went to work for a railroad company. Remember that, the whole story? And he got a start. You get the watches story and the whole deal. So they sought out new careers, even if it was low paying. I just said, I don't want to do this. So the American Revolution prompted a mindset, say, wait just a second, if we can be free politically, why can't we be free on the things that we want to do as individuals? As individuals. So the middle class included men that mixed, if they stayed in farming, they mixed it with entrepreneurship. New plows, for example. Okay? Less use of cattle or less use of horses to plow. You also had small business people whose daily work included managerial and productive labor. And all of a sudden, I was managing people. All of a sudden, I was managing labor, men and women. So I look at this as the example of Eli Whitney. Eli Whitney has been connected with inventing the cotton gin. Right. By the way, gin is the short name for engine, cotton engine. So this is a way of creating bales of hay much faster and quicker. So the cotton gin, he invented that, but a lot of people don't know that Eli Whitney also created interchangeable parts for guns. No. And that's an example, and that's an example of massification. When you can employ modern systems, including parts that are interchangeable between guns, all of a sudden you can massify. That's like saying these soles on my shoes can be used on 10 different pairs of shoes. Yeah. That's massification. That's massive, and that was an innovation. Now, when we're talking about people breaking away from what they thought was going to be their rank and file in society, okay, now all these careers that they were going into required study, more literacy, using numbers, right? And then all of a sudden that started pushing a transformation of society and the economy. And back then we were working also on the barter system. So now cash became much more important for transactions. So that forced formalizing or professionalizing or updating the banking system, financial transactions, all the push. And all of a sudden you saw the birth in the 1800s of consumerism. Consumerism is a major driver, consumer of services, consumer of goods in the United States. And all of a sudden you started seeing an expansion and a modernization of what it meant to be a consumer or a middle class person in the United States.
this is
and
huge.
the country was not even was 100 years old. Now, what I loved about all this that I had been reading was when we started seeing the appearance of brands. Brands are a great indicator on where you're at. So check this out and tell me if you've ever eaten these or you know these.
Okay.
And these started really around now we're going into the late 1800s. Remember what I said last week? In 1870, we went into a major recession. Once we got out of it a decade later, or short of a decade later, in the 1880s, all of a sudden this thing just started kicking to high gear. Let me share a couple of names on brands. Cream of Wheat.
Yes, loved cream of wheat.
Kellogg's Shredded Wheat.
Yes, my mother loved that.
Okay. Juicy Fruit Gum.
Yes.
Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. Used to buy that
No, I
in
didn't
college. It
drink
was
that.
cheap.
I
Yeah.
didn't drink that, no.
Coca-Cola, founded in 1886.
Oh, I think I've had a Coke.
And and Quaker Oats.
Yes, yes.
So the emerging middle class all of a sudden had brands to choose because there was opportunity. Brands proliferate when there's opportunity, and you've got to give folks an opportunity to choose among your product. You do better branding, better product, you have a better chance to be selected. Now, I said this earlier in my discussion, it's not just about income. People were breaking away from their, what their intended or expected social hierarchy, and what forced them to do. I talked about literacy. I talked about numeracy, right? And also talked about more education.
Right.
That means that also people were becoming much more civic-minded and much more professional. Have we heard the word professional?
Just keeps evolving.
Yeah, blue collar to white collar.
Wow.
Okay, there you go. So the middle class professional started coming about. All these together, babe, really reflect one thing: the desire for self-control and marking your own route, marking your own destiny. The middle class in the United States is an example of that. And people that come here from overseas, people that come here looking for the American dream, folks that we know are following that to their beat, to their drum beat. They're doing it on their own. So I'm going to say one more comment. I'm going to make one more comment because this hit me when I hear the questions floating in the media about, is America great? Yes, it is. I mean, and there is an American example because this middle class drives the following. It gave birth to consumerism, which is very healthy. It gave birth to jobs. It gave birth to new small businesses, new communities, an expanding tax base, and new and improved public services that were financed by that tax base. So let me tell you something, folks. Let me talk to you, comrade, okay, that's out there. Don't be intellectually lazy. Take some time to really study, and instead of doing TikTok videos, take some time to form an educated position and look at both sides, okay? That's one example. What do you think about that example, baby? What does that say to you?
No, I mean, it says a lot. I mean, and now you always wonder why they always say the middle class and small business is that core, is the core of America,
It's
and
the
why
engine.
it's so important to support small business and to support intelligent minds, and why you should focus as individuals on what your talents are and what you can bring to the table. Don't let what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Don't let that be your driver. Drive from within.
That's
and
right.
drive your dreams.
That's right.
And if we as individuals continue to drive ourselves,
I love
that's
that.
how you drive a country.
I love that.
Individuals together.
Very good.
I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
it says a lot. It says all of that.
I think about the best-selling book, The Millionaire Next Door. That's the perfect example
There
of
you
that.
go.
The Millionaire Next Door operates a plumbing company.
There you
They
go.
might have a contracting company. They, whatever. And so people can rise out of what we consider poverty. By the way, if you're poor in the United States, you're a hell of a lot better off than people around the world that are really, truly poor.
Yeah.
Okay? And then even if you're in the middle class, you can jump up. The only
Opportunity.
The only limit you have is your own creativity on what you create. We saw the example of Matilda, you know, the Canadian. She did this in the early 1900s.
If they didn't hear that on last, please watch last week's segment, because that was a huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
the mother of modern franchising did it in the early 1900s, a good 60 years before McDonald's.
amazing.
Before McDonald's. Okay, very good, very good. Okay.
Powerful.
Very powerful.
Very good message.
Thank you. Thank you. Because this is.
You are the most amazing thing. Pat, Brenda, he is.
Oh, stop. Get out of here. Go on.
I guess I have to admit, I was trying not to.
All right. We got another fun topic on the next segment. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
It started as a dream. When I was a little kid, I always wanted to have my own restaurant. And it was a dream that finally we had the opportunity to build it here in the Woodlands. And I'm so happy with it.
It's a really authentic Italian food. I try to maintain the most original possible. It's very important. Every day I make my fresh pasta.
Chi mangia bene, mangia italiano. Please come and visit us.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
Now, you and I like to talk about different, business stories, a lot of business stories. Folks,
We do.
We are so boring. This is what we do on our off time, okay? Other than work out and box, right?
Well, okay, we'll say that.
Well, let's just keep it at that.
I do like to eat.
Yeah, that's right. We do like our margaritas. We do like our margaritas, yeah. So I'm going to, going on the line about Middle America, Middle America.
Okay.
Here is a casual dining concept that was born in the United States specifically for Middle America. Or let's talk about the middle income base, base, okay? Did your family, when you were growing up, did you ever go to cafeterias?
We did. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Luby's, Ramada. It was called Ramada Inn, maybe?
At the Ramada Inn?
No, it was called the Ramada. It was at Town and Country Center.
Okay.
It was before Luby's.
Okay.
And my mother would get us girls in the car.
Yeah.
And it was a treat. And she would drive us
It was
into
a treat.
Town
Yeah.
and Country. And we'd stand in that line in the door and we'd be wrapped around with people. And then it was called the Ramada, or the Ramada. It wasn't the Ramada Inn, but it was something Ramada. I was 6 years old, I remember.
So
Yeah.
the folks that grew up with the concept, because it's a dining concept, okay? It's a dining concept, but it was created specifically for, the middle class,
Okay.
affordable eating. It's a place nice and easy that people can choose. You mentioned Luby's.
Yeah.
You mentioned we grew up with Furs. Anybody that's out there remembers Furs cafeterias. We grew up with Wyatt's cafeterias. My sisters
Wyatt, I do remember Wyatt.
not Brenda doesn't know it. My
Yeah,
younger sister,
yeah.
but my sister Tatiana does know it.
Okay.
But it was in Austin,
Okay.
where we grew up. It was Wyatt's or Furs. Now, the American cafeteria started in 1885. Again, I'm going back to concepts that all of a sudden started flourishing during that era of very, very rapid growth. And it was when a New York self-service restaurant opened in 1890. It was started in 1885. And there's actually conflicting view who really started it.
Okay.
But it goes back as far as 1885. There was a Chicago restaurateur who named his business cafeteria, which in Spanish means coffee shop, cafeteria. But he was looking for a word that would reflect. He had come across the smorgasbord, which is a Swedish concept of an open buffet style of eating. So it had cold cuts and it had also warm food. That's a smorgasbord. If anybody looks it up, it's a Swedish concept. He said, why don't I take that concept and bring it here? So he'd run across that. He said, I'm going to create, and so they created a cafeteria. The first one was for men only back up in New York.
Okay.
Now, that was a brand or a type of concept, casual dining concept, launched for Middle America, as I said earlier. Well, Luby's is for sale.
Everything is.
Yeah,
it's so
we talked
sad.
about we talked about Sur La Table this morning.
Yes.
You know, about going bankruptcy.
Yes.
It's for sale. It doesn't mean that it's going bankrupt, but it's for sale.
So someone could buy them out.
It's been losing money for the last 7 years. I bet you can get a pretty good deal if you wanted to buy Luby's right now.
Somebody save Luby's. Yeah.
So let's talk about this because I want to get your insight on this.
Okay.
Luby's has a special place in our family because we like taking our mother there. Again, a generational shift of where cafeterias, are today. Now, you probably recognize these names, Chris and Harris Pappas.
Oh, of course.
Pappas Brothers. Pappas Brothers here in town. Pappas Brothers, they have Papa Do's, the steakhouse, the seafood. My sisters, we love Papacitos, the whole concept. So, in general, very successful restaurant group in Houston. So they started amassing stock in Luby's in 2000. We're talking about 20 years ago.
Oh, really?
Okay. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but did you know that Papa's also bought, in 2010, they bought Fuddruckers? Remember Fuddruckers?
No,
Well, you can make your own burger.
I love Fuddruckers.
Okay, Fuddruckers.
Yeah, I used to go there.
Yeah, so they also bought another chain, must be in the Midwest or somewhere, called Cheeseburger in Paradise. I don't know if that's in the Southeast. I'm not familiar with that.
Interesting. I didn't know that. No.
So they felt they could turn Luby's around. Now, they bought it, and it was already, faltering. So they had no experience running cafeterias or even leading a public company. This is critical because Luby's was listed. It was listed on a stock exchange, and up until recently, it was the shares were worth under $1. It almost got delisted about 2 weeks ago. That's how bad it got. Oh my gosh. So think about it. They had no experience running cafeterias or leading a public company. Now, the concept is, you think about it, it's kind of a tired concept. And back then, it offered middle-class families a good experience at an affordable cost. Now, when do you think the sales started faltering for a Luby's type operation?
Oh, gosh. Well, when the dining experience changed.
Okay, and how do you think it changed?
Well, people, Luby's love you, but when people started wanting a different feel, a different environment.
What else? What else? You're on the right track. What else?
Well, I don't want to say this, but quality, they wanted a different level of quality.
Why don't we just call it healthier? How's that? Yeah, because there's a big, to be nice.
Okay.
To be nice, yeah.
Yeah, sorry,
because people still use the term cafeteria food.
Right, sure.
I mean, they still do that,
Sure.
But all of a sudden, remember, they're in a casual dining concept, okay? Then you had fast casual. These names might ring a bell. Chipotle.
Oh, and love for Chipotle. Yeah.
Okay. Panera Bread.
Yeah.
Okay,
the great
fast
little
casual.
cinnamon
Fast
bagels.
casual.
Cinnamon bagels, yeah.
Boston Market. I thought it was kind of Boston Market was launched in '85. It was kind of a step above a cafeteria. Would you agree? It wasn't, necessarily a destination for you, but for us, it was Panera Bread or Chipotle. What do you think prompted them to buy this, the operation?
Why did they buy it?
And do you think it was a strategic miss?
The prompt of...
Had a great track record.
The prompt to why they bought it, who knows? You could go a million reasons why.
Okay.
I don't know. The main, I would hope, constant there was that they thought they could turn it around and make something better out of it.
Up until that point, the Pappas brothers had an incredible track record. Okay? So what forced them, or what guided them, do you think, to get outside of that? They bought cheeseburger.
It's almost like they went backwards, is what you're saying, because if they were...
Good point.
Why did they go backwards?
Why do you think?
Why would they go back? Did they think they could reinvent that cafeteria style? Were they, I don't know, were they going to change the food style? Were they going
to...
They
did. Actually, they tried to... They played with the menu. Very good.
Right.
Okay.
And maybe the interior, the feel, maybe they made some changes and they thought they could reinvent and save kind of a institution, if you will, in
maybe the brand was strong enough.
Yeah, in their mind.
Maybe the brand still had some equity, that it was strong enough.
Or all the way down to they had a personal relationship with the family, and they said, "Let me see if we can help you." I mean, you can go anything in between.
Luby's was started in San Antonio, so they ended up moving a couple of years after they bought it. They ended up moving the operation to Houston. But I think.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's a strategic miss. I really
Okay.
do. I think that, and I
Yeah.
have a lot of respect for Papas.
Yeah.
Okay, but I think it's a strategic miss because even the best brands can't survive in a declining market. The industry has to be
Clearly.
growing.
Clearly.
Okay, you and I talk a lot about the pet industry. If the pet industry is dying, why would I want to go into that industry right now, even if I have the best collar in the world? Yes, but your base of consumers and the consumer lifetime value that you're going to get out of that individual is going to be shrinking over the next couple of years. How do you sell that to an investor? How do you sell that? How do you sell that to people that want to invest in your company?
Well, like a great example is that when you start to hear that a Neiman Marcus is going bankrupt,
Yeah.
what is that telling you?
Well, tastes are changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, tastes are changing.
Yeah.
Tastes are changing. Now, this is what they did to survive. Remember, they've been losing money for the last 7 years.
Right.
They've been selling off. They actually own their real estate.
Okay.
And by the way, they didn't change the real estate too much because it's still out of the early 80s,
Yeah,
man, the
okay.
decor. One thing that they did do, and I always wondered about this,
Okay.
they are dealing in a price point that's very competitive, incredibly competitive, okay? I could go to Sweet Tomato.
Okay.
I could go to Luby's, okay? There's probably another, I could go to a gourmet, well, Papa's has gourmet burgers.
Okay.
I could go to a burger place, and the ticket is going to be roughly about the same, okay? But why do I need somebody filling my drink order at Luby's? I mean, I never understood that, okay? So what were we doing? Were we trying to take care of a customer that was dwindling every year by filling their iced tea, filling their water? Then all of a sudden, your ticket changes because then you're obligated to leave
yeah,
a tip,
that's right.
which is fine. I think everybody needs to be tipped for great service at any walk, okay?
Right.
But all of a sudden, you're changing the ticket price.
Right. So that
by-
great value starts to change, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the great value starts to
That great value
change.
starts to change as you're sitting at the table.
You don't
you're
wanna be
like,
cheap
"Oh,
on your-
add this
yeah.
on, or give me this.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you've got to tip the server.
Yeah.
And again, I believe in that because they're working hard for what they do. The encounters that I've had at Luby's with the server, they've been incredible.
God, I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, they've been incredible.
yeah.
So they deserve every penny that you get, but you don't want to be cheap.
No.
But all of a sudden you can add another 15, 20%.
Yeah, interesting.
So all of a sudden you're changing the
Right,
ticket, right? You're
right.
changing the thing. But there's so many options out there. So I believe, and I say it very humbly because I've never been in the restaurant business, never sold, food or anything
Right.
like that. But I believe that it was a strategic miss. I really do. And also getting into a public company scenario.
Yeah.
If you've never worked in a public company scenario, all of a sudden you're responding to the market, to shareholders, and there's an activist shareholder that's pushing them to sell it.
Yeah.
If anybody knows Phil Graham, former senator of Texas, an Aggie, by the way, his son runs a capital company, private capital company in New York, and he is an activist investor in Luby's and saying, dude, you guys got it all wrong, and is forcing them to sell off the assets, sell off the operation, get whatever they can. I need my money back. I need a decent return. You guys are screwing this up. So there's a fight there. There's a fight there.
going on.
What they've been doing is they've been selling, I'm going to go back to the real estate. They own most of their real estate, and they've been selling dozens of restaurants over the years and selling their most valuable asset, which is real estate, just to keep the doors open.
Wow.
So they're using that's not organic income from operations. They're selling off assets just to show a decent P&L. How do you maintain
How do you
a business
justify
like that?
from a business perspective?
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and now here they are.
Now, you and I were where we have our little breakfast and coffee, and then I showed you Luby's this morning.
Yeah, Merchant.
Merchant.
We're
If
at
anybody
Merchant.
you want to tell them about Merchant real
Love
quick?
Merchant. Merchant is a cool little spot.
Next
If
door to
you're-
Luby's,
if you're
actually.
in Houston
Yeah.
and you're looking for this neat little spot to have, whether a nice breakfast, a cool coffee, nice lunch, and they even have wines there. Great. You talked about healthy.
Yeah.
Amazing healthy food. Great vibe. It's called Merchant.
Yeah.
And it's right there on Post Oak.
I
Love
mean,
it.
the thing is that the
Yeah.
irony couldn't be more.
And
more-
Luby's was catty corner. Yeah.
And Luby's was catty corner. I
There
mean,
it is. Thanks, Carlos.
That's right.
Love
I mean,
Merchant.
the,
Yeah.
the irony was just so
Yeah.
incredible because we're at Merchant,
Yeah.
which is a cool little spot
Yeah.
they would look for, versus and Luby's, and they had this big sign on there. It's the Luby's on Post Oak. The sign said, "We're open," kind of saying, "Please come and visit us." We're open.
I know.
We're open.
To your point. And again, in time, what do we always say? Things evolve, things change. So they've
That's
had
right.
a long run rate.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But eventually, like you said, innovation.
That's right.
Changes of things.
And you got to keep up with it.
You got to keep up with it.
You know what this tells me, babe? It tells me that the market is efficient. The market is going to dictate who the winners and losers are. You could do something incredibly, well.
Yeah.
Great app, great concept, really fine-tuned to where the consumer is going and what they're needing and what they want to spend their money on, or you could shortcut the business, maybe have a strategic miss. The market is efficient. The ultimate winner, the consumer. Going back to consumerism, the ultimate winner. All right, good discussion.
Very
okay,
interesting.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back.
Awesome.
Hello, my name is Dr. Sadaf Javed. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist and I see adults also. I've been practicing in the greater Houston area for the past 5 years and my practice is in the west side of town. In these unprecedented times, it is so important to check in with your mental health. Please pick up the phone and call 832-304-7244 or mycognitivepsychiatry.com and we would be happy to help. Thank you.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
Turn on your glam today. The Jenna Klein collection is here, elaborated with natural products. Give yourself a compliment with our organic lip glosses in more than 15 shades. With the Jenna Klein lip gloss collection, you can hydrate your lips and keep that glamorous look that you need. Turn on your glam. Visit jennaklein.com. And don't forget our skincare collection with natural ingredients that will improve the skin's appearance and prevent visible signs of aging. We have everything you need to achieve smooth and vitalized skin. jennaklein.com. Turn on your glam today.
This was a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM.
I always wrap up the fourth or the final segment with a quote. I wasn't going to let you, get away without a quote today,
No,
babe.
I love your quotes, baby.
Listen to this quote. This quote is from The Economist and college professor Milton Friedman. Okay. He was a big believer in free enterprise, the market system. There is no alternative so far discovered of improving the loss of the ordinary people that can hold a candle to the productive activities that are unleashed by the free enterprise system. Wow. I'm going to say one more time, and I want your opinion on this.
Okay.
There is no alternative so far discovered of improving the lot of the ordinary people that can hold a candle to the productive activities that are unleashed by the free enterprise system. So far discovered and unleashed. What does that tell you?
Well, it says what you were talking about in the very beginning.
Right there.
That's it. That's where it's at. You can try to change it. You can try to be creative. You can do all these things and think that at the end, it's going to come right back down to that.
I think this is where some people, okay, I'm addressing the comrades again, okay?
Comrades,
yeah,
listen up.
I'm addressing this, and I think that some people start confusing with what capitalism really is, okay?
Sure.
The central figure in capitalism is the consumer. That's the central figure. That's where people get it. That's where they start getting missed. Again, don't be intellectually lazy. Look this up. The central figure, look for examples, is the consumer. Because the consumer is going to dictate whether they want your product or service or not. That's the beauty of the free enterprise system. Sure. It's incredibly efficient, So we've got one retailer that we've talked about, you and I a lot.
Okay.
And this was an interesting move. I don't know why they're doing this. So I want to throw this out there, and I want to get your opinion on. Walmart parking lots being converted into pop-up drive-in theaters for the summer.
No.
Number one, it's going to be hot in Texas.
For the summer?
For the summer.
Okay, I know why they're doing it then.
Okay, why do you think they're doing that? I mean, why would I go to a Walmart parking lot?
I hate to say this, Walmart, but y'all are capitalizing on COVID-19. Social distancing at its best. They found a way that they see during this summer period to, if there was any loss that they have had, probably not, because we know they're one of the top 3. But if there is any way that they're seeing that restaurants, movie theaters, which are closed right now, why can't we take a piece of what the movie theaters are getting and bring it to Walmart during the summer months while we get past this, quote unquote, finding a cure and helping combat this virus? That's my thought. But
okay. One thing is, I'm going to go back to you and I went and watched the fireworks.
We did.
The first reaction that I had when I read this was our experience at the fireworks.
Okay.
Okay, so we went to a parking lot.
We did.
Okay, here in Houston, near where you live, to have a view from, a relatively safe view of down. We weren't going to, they had blocked off down. You couldn't go downtown to see the fireworks.
Sure.
Usually, if anybody's ever, seen that,
they had it all blocked off.
They had it all blocked off. You couldn't. It was all going to be, remote. Stay at your house, watch it on TV, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we still wanted the experience of being outside. Remember the little cockroaches?
Oh my God! Yeah, there were some on the ground. I was
These
freaking
were
out.
Mutant cockroaches.
I was freaking
but I started
out,
stepping,
and I was
to
like,
scare them away.
Suze, get that bug away! And he was such a man. He got down there and started knocking it away.
And they wouldn't. They wouldn't. They must have been mutants or something because they wouldn't go. They were just kind of like sitting there looking at me like.
And I was
What's
freaking
up, man?
out. Even though I was in the back of the car, the SUV. And I had my little, and I was like, oh my God. It was, but thank you.
Yeah.
But, thank you for getting rid of it.
Something that I thought about then was, considering everything that's happening, I think about, you almost have your guard up. Being out in public, people saying things, you don't want to get, again, we're not, obviously, you kind of watch the neighborhood you're in.
Time right now.
It's a very unsettled, so I wonder, would I think twice about going to a Walmart parking lot where there might be 50 or 70 families watching, and I don't know who's in the car next to me.
I'm assuming it's for people that want to still feel like they're going somewhere.
Okay.
See, right now, back to my point, I think Walmart realized that movie theaters were closed and that it was, what do we say sometimes? There's not a lot you can do right now.
Right.
So if we can capitalize a little bit right now on giving them, quote unquote, some type of experience with the kids and the family. I mean, I guess that's what, I don't know. What are you thinking? I mean,
well, I'm thinking that even folks that are cash-based, because Walmart has a big percentage of their shoppers that are cash-based. Okay. Even those folks are going to have some type of access to the internet. And they could still download Netflix. They could still, a percentage probably has cable. Okay. So you have alternatives. You have HBO Go, you have Netflix. Now, this is interesting because the partnership is with Tribeca Films. So they have their own, they have their own content. I don't know. I mean, they're testing it at 160 locations, and one of them is in Arlington, Texas, where I used to work. It can get hot, man, especially at night. So I don't know about that.
I don't think we'll be going for sure. So. But I mean, I guess there are some kids out there with that, are restless at home and, not tired of going to the park. Don't want to just go to the restaurant because that's where the parents want to go.
Right.
What can we do? What can we do, Mommy, Daddy? Well, we can go to Walmart.
The other thing that they're doing, the other thing they're doing is virtual camps. And they have some celebrity appearances. See, this is cool because virtual camps, and so virtual, one of my sisters is a teacher, virtual teaching. By the way, Miss Kaiser's kiosk, I'm going to plug it. She just launched it. Look for it for teachers, resources for teachers.
Awesome.
Is virtual camps with celebrity appearances. That would be appealing. All of a sudden, you've got a well-known celebrity, whether it's somebody from Glee or whether it's somebody
in the same
online
with you.
Inside. So if you buy, into the camp, and then that person is motivating you, inspiring you. So
smart.
What do you think? What do you think about that?
That's smart.
Okay.
That's smart. That's an experience.
Especially if the kids know the actor or the actress.
I think that will do extremely well. I think well.
See, that I like. Yeah, that I like.
I think that'll do great. I think that'll do great.
What are you going to do with Sur La Table going bankrupt, babe? Did you go to Sur La Table?
My mom.
Okay. What does she like so much about it?
Well, my mother just loved, she loved all of that. All of the entertainment, all of the dishes, the pots, the pans, and she loved. If you ever bring her something from Sur La Table, it was like, or take her there shopping.
Right.
Those were her little. She loved that place.
But it was the in-store experience.
Yes, of course.
Here is a concept that was really driven. The cooking classes.
Yes.
I had been there for a little cooking event with friends. Did you do that? Yeah. Did you like their wine? Did you like their cooking? Because you like to cook, but in general, did you feel that it was
it was more of just to sign up to do something. I don't know that I regularly go to Sur La Table. Like I'll go during the holiday.
Right.
Oh, I need to get a new this. But I need a new pot for my Thanksgiving cooking. But in general terms, I'm not one of those ladies that's always popping in Sur La Table. Sorry, Sur La Table, but no, I'm not.
What about Bed Bath & Beyond? Because they're closing stores.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Bed Bath & Beyond. It's We're
consumers. We can comment.
Like you said, I mean, in my opinion, It was. Did I go? Yes. But again, it would. To me, I treated it more like the Walmart. So if I need to go and I have to go because I had my little coupon and the item I wanted happened to be, and okay, it made sense. Otherwise, it was not a comfortable experience for me shopping there.
It's interesting, babe, that you said coupon, because that's one thing that's actually hurting them. Okay. They have to recognize a 20% coupon, whatever coupon you got. Sometimes it's 30%. Okay. That's going to eat in. Remember, they're not going to be successful in negotiating every supplier funding that coupon. Folks, that coupon is negotiated with whatever brand that they're selling. Okay? Why? Because as Bed Bath & Beyond, I believe that I have an experience, a destination, that I have a certain traffic. We talked about, Tuesday morning the other day. Okay? Certain people, they have their certain traffic. But if you're a Bed Bath & Beyond fan, if you will, you might go because you're motivated by the coupon or the mailer you get in the mail. Well, that 20% is sometimes coming out of Bed Bath & Beyond their own pocket because the supplier is strong enough to say, that's fine. I have an omni-channel setup where I can sell directly from my own website. I can sell through Walmart. I can sell through Sears.com. I can sell through Amazon or whatever. So I think today, the owners of the brand, whoever owns the brand, and it's a unique brand, it's a different brand, it's innovative, offering something different at a competitive price. It doesn't have to be cheap. It does not have to be cheap. I think that those are going to be the leaders. That's why we have a proliferation of direct-to-consumer brands, because people are looking for. I always promote Harry Shave. I go to Harry Shave because even though I like Gillette, we talked about Gillette a couple of episodes ago. I am a fan, or let's just say, on the matter of principle, I didn't want to pay that much.
And you had another option.
I had another option.
And it worked well.
Dollar Shave Club.
There you are.
Dollar Shave Club and that.
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. These are interesting times, babe.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and we talk about it a lot. You and I. We pray as well. We pray as well.
We do.
And one thing that we discussed this morning was, it's almost overwhelming to figure out how do we, in our own little way, make an impact to start healing. And it's, again, we do it in a very humble manner. Where do you think that could begin?
Well, I think it starts with individual. It starts with your ability to look within yourself and say, again, it's what I said the other day, and I've said it again. Don't focus on what you can't change. Spend the time focusing on the things you will change. Focus on making a difference. And if each individual does that and stops, I'm so tired of hearing and watching all of these comments and this negative everybody just stop with all that. Let's just turn that energy into something positive and making a difference. Stop going back and forth. That's never going to win. You're wrong, you're right, that's not going to win. That never wins. So we have to come together. We have to start with ourselves. We have to be peaceful, and we have to grow and make change. Please, that's what I say. That's the only way. This negative will not work on any side of it.
Well said, babe. Well said. Well said.
Pray.
And pray. That's right. And pray. Okay. I think we're at our time. It's a great place to stop.
Okay, it's Friday. We're going to go have some Friday fun. And everybody have a great
weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, and America is great, folks. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Take care.